That was gold.
That laugh. Pretty unmistakable. And if you are one of those who puts on BBC One on a Saturday morning, chances are you know who it belongs to.
When you're with Matt, it's gales of laughter all the time. I mean, hurricane force laughter, in fact.
I don't know yet.
Wine expert Ollie Smith has known and worked with Matt Tebbutt for years.
The way in which he's brought all the things he's learned in a kitchen to touch everybody equally so that everybody feels they can chip in. And I hope people at home also feel like they're part of that conversation, because that's really Matt's greatest skill, is making other people feel welcome.
This year, Saturday Kitchen celebrates the 20th year since it took over Saturday mornings on BBC One. Over those 2 decades, it's become a fixture for many at the weekend, and for much of that last decade, Matt Tebbutt has been the main presenter.
Good morning. We've got an all singing, all dancing lineup for you today. Even Helen's on.
2026 has seen Matt join another legendary cooking show, stepping into MasterChef for a series, and he started his own podcast, available now on BBC Sounds. But this programme really isn't about what's new with Matt Tebbutt. This is all about finding out who the real Matt Tebbutt is. The man behind the big laugh. What drives him? What keeps him excited about food? And for the guests he meets week after week. We will hear about his career before live telly. He trained under Marco Pierre White. And go behind the scenes to see how Saturday Kitchen actually works. We'll discover where that seemingly boundless energy for good food, people and hospitality really comes from. Because it's an energy that doesn't appear to switch off.
He could have a great Monday night party and Tuesday night party. Oh, Wednesday, Thursday, wait a minute. Right, he's just somebody who loves life.
The laughs are only part of the story. We'll also look to the future of live television, of kitchen culture, hospitality and the next generation of chefs. Hey, yeah, just about, Matt. Our first stop is Matt's home in South Wales, not too far from the market town of Abergavenny.
Do you want tea, coffee?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
We arrive after a long drive through proper countryside. One of the things that struck me today, Matt, is I've come down from London. That commute is brutal. How do you do it?
Train.
Train.
It's fine on the train.
Yeah.
When the trains work, it's 3 hours door to door.
Yeah.
The roads are horrible.
Matt Tebbutt has lived in this part of Wales for much of his life. His parents moved not far from here when he was a baby. So before TV, before professional kitchens, when did he first become aware of his interest in food and cooking?
So the first thing I ever cooked was with my nan, and it was toad in the hole. And I was blown away. I thought, what the hell is this? It's like this liquid goes in an oven and it comes out, it's big and delicious. And that really blew my mind.
Then there were caravan holidays in France and trips to bistros.
I was always greedy. I remember amazing fish soups with rouille and croutons and gruyere and, fantastic bread. We used to go to the beach and get picnics, pick up these little sort of pickled mushrooms and stuff like that. And that got me really, really excited about food. I would buy cookbooks, and I remember just doing things over and over and over again. I blew up the kitchen once with some caramel. Do you remember when you used to... The condensed milk you used to boil for hours, and the thing exploded. My parents, so they had toffee all over the kitchen, and they had to have the whole kitchen regrouted, which was quite annoying because it had only just been done. And there's idiot son blew up caramel in the kitchen. So I used to just practice and practice and practice.
But becoming a chef wasn't his first ambition. That was the Air Force. So he went to university and joined the University Air Squadron.
It was a great club. You got a bit of discipline. You learn to stay up late and then get up the next day and look relatively straight. But then it came a tipping point. That was for sort of 3 years. And for various reasons, I was kind of edging away from joining the Air Force. And I thought, what else do I do? So, I mean, obviously, the food was always there. So I thought, well, I'll leave uni. I'll go up to London. I did a year at Prue College.
What was that like?
It was one of the best years of my time, actually. I was pretty young, single. I had a scooter. It was early 90s. The restaurant scene was all kind of kicking off, and it was really, really exciting. So, yeah, I absolutely loved it. I had a great time.
After completing his training at Leith's Culinary School, Matt started to look for jobs.
I remember doing stages at the 5th floor with Henry Harris and Alistair Little and Marco. And I always wanted to work for Marco Pierre White because of the book White Heat. I mean, he made cooking in restaurants look dynamic and fun and edgy and all the things it was never really had the associations with, you know. Chefs were always kind of kept in basements, they wore big hats and they were all quite sort of fat. And suddenly he made it look really exciting. So I always wanted to work for him, so I did that.
How did you cope in Marco Pierre White's kitchen? Because I know he's notoriously challenging.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, I hit it at a time when, I mean, yeah, it was still hard. It was still demanding. I mean, he sacked me after a month. And then I went home and I was scratching my head thinking, oh, God, I've got to find another job.
Can I ask what he sacked you for?
Oh, I ran in front of him in service. I kind of swerved, and you don't do that. I won't tell you what he said, but he got rid of me. And the next day I'm scratching my head in my little basement flat thinking, okay, I need to find a job. And at the time, there was no internet or any of that business. So there was a time-out eating guide to London. So I was flicking through that guidebook, looking at where to go next. And the phone went, and it was Marco. He said, why are you at home? I went, well, because you sacked me last night. He went, well, don't worry about that. Come into work. I went back in, and then I met him, and it was like nothing had happened. He said, come in this way. So we walked across Piccadilly to the Criterion, introduced me to the chef. I got a job, and then I was there for about 2 years.
What's it like working in Michelin-starred environments at that level?
It wasn't for me. You learn about standards and discipline and consistency. It's all about that. And you keep your head down and you do your job.
Do you look back at that time with positive thoughts?
Yes, I do. I mean, it was really, really hard. But the people you were with, I mean, I'm still friendly with Bryn Williams and a couple of other guys who were in the Criterion with me. And it was a bit like going into the army. It was brutal on one hand, and then you've got the strength in numbers and the camaraderie within the kitchen. And I'm really glad I went through it, because kitchens in the 90s were hard, but they were so exciting. I wouldn't like to do it now. I'm far too old, and I've got too many opinions now. But, you know, when you're young and you have that ability to put your head down and get on with it, it was hard, but it was exciting.
Later, Matt worked for celebrated London chefs Alistair Little and Sally Clark.
Sally's take on seasonal produce was second to none. Nothing was compromised on the ingredients.
But it's an interesting approach, isn't it? Because I feel that's what Saturday Kitchen does at its best. It does seasonality, has a lot of attention to detail in terms of the source of ingredients. Yeah. It really highlights small producers as well. Is this something that you feel you have a kinship with, or have you led the way on that?
Absolutely. I don't think I'd led the way, because it's a live show. We cook what's, you know, in season, and it makes sense. But it always kind of made sense to me to be cooking seasonally.
Life in London was going well, but Matt and his new wife, Lisa, wanted to move back to Wales.
We thought, right, let's move out, start family, let's move back to Wales. And the only thing we could afford was an old pub.
It was a Grade 2 listed building called the Foxhunter in Nanterbury, and it was here that Matt started getting noticed by the media.
We lived upstairs, we did it up, and it just so happens that was right at the start of that sort of whole gastropub thing. And I remember we were open about a year, and then Diana Henry got in touch because she was writing the gastropub cookbook. And that got us a lot of attention. And it was nice to be part of, there was a gang of young chefs who were coming out of London. They'd been working for really good chefs, and then they wanted to do their own thing in much more sort of relaxed surrounding.
And you ran it with your wife. What was that like?
We were a really, really good team. Basically, I did some cooking and she did everything else. She did front of house. I mean, we opened in the December, and we had Jess, our daughter, in the May. And I think Lisa gave birth on the Wednesday. And on Saturday night, she was strapped sort of in one of those baby things. But it was great.
Matt by now is in his early 30s with 2 children and a restaurant that's collecting awards. A TV career still isn't in the plan, but then an opportunity comes up to compete in the second series of a now very long-running cookery show, The Great British Menu. He was up against Welsh chef Bryn Williams, an old friend from his Marco Pierre White days, who'd won the first series of the Great British Menu.
I do want to win this competition more than I might have done, actually. And to see him so confident, he is just super confident. It'd be quite nice
But
to give him
it
a
was
little
Bryn who ended up winning.
After getting off to a flying start, things went a bit pear-shaped for Matt yesterday when he...
So I did a week on that and I thought nothing of it. And then the show went out and we got big spike in customers and stuff like that. So that was good. And then we had a really bad Christmas. January came and then snow kept coming again and there were bills to pay. And I remember just every single phone call was a cancellation. And we were at that point where I thought, I don't know how we're going to pay the bills this month. And then out the blue, we had a phone call from somebody at Optimum TV. And she said, we're doing this new show. It's called Market Kitchen. Have you ever thought about presenting? And if you ever knew me in the restaurant, I would never go out. I was too shy. And people always thought I was rude, and I wasn't. I was just too shy to go out and talk to people. So had the restaurant been really rocking and rolling, I would have said, don't be so silly, and I would never have done it. But because it was like a lifeline, I said, yeah, fine, whatever, let's give it a go. And it's quite emotional, actually, thinking about it. It was a hard time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it changed the trajectory of your career.
Yeah, totally. So we did this show called Market Kitchen and it was great fun. And, you know, Tom Parker Bowles was one of the presenters, Matthew Fort. There was a whole sort of cast. So it wasn't exactly an overnight sensation.
But by now, food television is reaching bigger audiences. And while Matt gets to grips with presenting Market Kitchen, Cactus TV is reshaping Saturday Kitchen, moving it from BBC Two to BBC One and into the heart of weekend telly. Amanda Ross is co-founder of Cactus TV and executive producer of Saturday Kitchen.
When we took over Saturday Kitchen, I wanted to redefine what Saturday Kitchen was. And so I brought in loads of Michelin star chefs and younger people and people from all different backgrounds and things like that. And Matt first came on the show in the first year and he was in his 30s. I instantly thought he was great because he's very attractive and he doesn't realise how attractive he is, which makes him more attractive because it does.
Looks and charm might have got him first noticed, but in a TV world where people come and go, why does Amanda think he's lasted week after week, year after year?
He's not intimidating, he's personable, everyone wants to be his friend, and he draws people in. And what he gets is that basically Saturday Kitchen is a zoo show. It's about every single person on it. And the team in front of and behind the camera are all equally as important. And he gets that. What's brilliant about Matt as well is he never pretends he can do something he can't. Of course he knows way more than the questions he asks on the show. But his job is to be the mind of the viewer. And I think hosting Saturday Kitchen, and obviously Cactus have produced a lot of different types of shows, but I think hosting Saturday Kitchen is one of the most difficult jobs on telly because...
Why is it so hard?
Because it's live and you've got to interview people like a chat show host does, but you're cooking at the same time. And that's why our rehearsals are so important. And actually, on the show, he could cook everybody's recipe completely by himself if he had to, because he's learnt it on the Friday. And you would be surprised that there are some chefs with Michelin stars who come on and they cannot cook and talk. So they just stand still and do nothing, and Matt Tebbutt runs around them and cooks in the background, picks everything up. But I think the difference between him and a lot of other people who are in front of the camera is he's self-depreciating and he's not frightened of seeing the comedy when he makes a mess up. And he has the confidence to do that because he knows we're all behind him and we will make it work. And then it makes people at home feel like they're part of the family.
The BBC's core mission to inform, educate, entertain. And Saturday Kitchen seems to do all these things week after week.
Thank you.
What is it in particular that Matt does to help set the tone for that to be able to happen?
He's a very good presenter in that he helps us change tone when he needs to, and he also reacts because it's a live show. The thing is about Saturday Kitchen is that basically it is an entertainment show, but it happens to be about food. But we do subtly educate as well, but we can only do that because it's fun. Everybody at school, your best lessons are the ones that you enjoyed, the best ones that you laughed in. It makes everyone think, oh, if he can do that, I'll try that. Oh, I'll do this, or I'll have a go.
What's been your favourite Matt Tebbutt Saturday Kitchen moment?
There's too many. He's done 400 and something shows. I mean, I think the nicest moments are when he's made someone who was really, really nervous look and feel great, and they finished their item smiling, and then I just think, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic.
Amanda Ross, Saturday Kitchen's executive producer. So how did Shy Matt become confident, laugh a minute, relax Matt?
I mean, that comes with, I guess, experience, really. I mean, I hate having my photo taken. I'm useless at that. I mean, public speaking, I was awful. I mean, that's why chefs go into kitchens. They're not really show-offs. They want to be at the back and they want to sort of, creatively do things. So that's just come through, practice and becoming more and more relaxed with it. But I think certain types of telly, like Saturday Kitchen and things you're comfortable in, that's really easy. I mean, there's other bits of TV I do and I'm awful. I mean, put me on a sofa and try and interview me and I'm terrible.
So it's kind of an odd juxtaposition, what you feel like is your natural shy self and the not so shy self you present to the world.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing that show. It's so much fun. I love the fact it's live because that comes with its own energy. And if things go wrong, which they invariably do, it's kind of funny.
People love it.
I really don't care. I know why people would get upset about things going wrong. The things you don't do, you can't swear. And that I have to guard myself against because you do get very relaxed. Yeah. And it's like, being in your own kitchen.
What's been some of the other Saturday Kitchen live TV moments? The mishaps.
The mishaps. I mean, people cut themselves. What else? Oh, double dipping. I mean, I mean, really? Is there not enough going on in the world? I mean, chefs are chefs, right? They have a pot of spoons, they go in, and they go in again. People use their hands to cook. But I think TV is kind of magnifies that. And people are really shocked that chefs taste food. So those are the biggest, no-nos. Don't swear and wash your hands. And you can't go far wrong.
You want to talk about asparagus?
Yeah, so this dish is really nice because the best vegetable I think you can eat right now that's growing in the UK is asparagus. And that's why this dish...
It's Friday afternoon at the Cactus TV studios in South London. The first rehearsal day for Saturday Kitchen. The hobs and ovens are on and Matt is on set with chef Nathan Outlaw, who is cooking black bream with asparagus. And I've come to see how the show comes together. So we're on set of Saturday Kitchen. Matt, can you show me around?
Yep, come this way. I mean, not that I need to show you, you've seen all this before.
But for our listeners who have not seen it before.
Okay, so here we are with the entrance, there's my dressing room.
Where's the row of shirts?
Windowless.
That's what I'm expecting.
There. 50 Shades of Blue.
Fewer shirts than I thought.
You can see the Pantone sort of colours.
Blue, grey, black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're fashion, Matt. Do you have a stylist?
What?
For the show? Do you have
Of course I don't have a stylist.
A lot of stars
I know.
have stylists.
Stars, there's your key word. No, I don't have a stylist. But I'm thrilled that you think I do.
From the dressing room, we head back into the now empty studio.
So here's the space. You can see, it's all real, right? So what you see on the sets, it's actual brick. It's not kind of fake plastic. It used to be a chapel, I think. Hence the shape of the windows. And it's a lot smaller than I think people realise. It's a lot more narrow.
It's narrower. Matt, what's the feeling? So just before you go live, so 3, 2, 1, live. What's the feeling?
It used to be terrifying. In the early days, it was terrifying. Now, I say, how long we got? And then in my ear, they say, we got a minute and a half. Like, oh, really? And I hate that bit. And I'm kind of pacing around, and I'd rather run on with 3, 2, 1 to go and just crack on with it than the hanging around. That's the worst bit. We usually do mess around quite a lot until the director says, come on, behave yourself. Three. And you go, hello, good morning, welcome. Blah, 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 blah. So let's go this way. So all the beauty shots are done out the front, but obviously all the food, or the actual proper cooking, I should say, is all done
Out of the back of the building, a converted church, we come to the test kitchen.
So they've got a full kitchen, there's more home ecs out the back here.
The home economics department, important on the show?
Oh, it's everything. Absolutely everything. I mean, you can have the best chefs in the world on the show who don't know how to use a Thermomix because they're not used to it, because they have people doing that sort of thing.
This really is the engine room for the programme, where every dish has been tested, sliced, weighed, cooked and cooked again, and again, and again. At the centre is Michaela Bowles, the show's head home economist. She's been working on the show for 20 years.
We prep the plates, we prep for the chefs, we prep what we call heroes, which are things that we've made earlier. That's what we call it in the trade, because obviously they've only got 10-minute slots on the show, so we need to make sure that things that take longer get cooked. We rehearse on Friday. I'm with the chefs, stand by the chefs, breathe over the chefs to make sure that they're cooking it right. And then on a Saturday, I have a little chair in the corner of the set where I'm obviously watching them. They're not washing their hands, remind them to wash their hands. Health and safety is a massive thing. Obviously, we've got ex-police out there and social media police, and so we should, because we should be representing the best way in health and safety, of course.
It's not like cooking in a kitchen. It's on live telly, isn't it? So chefs get nervous.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get the best chefs in the world and they will still be nervous in this environment. My job is to make them feel confident, make sure that their skills on set, so their knife skills, things like that, are good. So I might need to do a little bit of extra training with some people.
How does Matt feature within you, a chef, and then Matt? How does that relationship work?
So Matt brings the fun and he steadies the ship. He's about the timing. So if I say to Matt, you've got 2 minutes to do something, because he's an amazing chef, he has that internal clock where he knows what 2 minutes is. Like, we play a game at home all the time. Like, somebody will say to me, 6 minutes, Michaela, and I will do it bang on, because that's your internal chef clock, but that's important for live.
As well as the recipes brought in by the guest chefs, there are 2 other recipes cooked for the Heaven and Hell section, where the celebrity guest is asked to talk about ingredients they like and dislike, and the viewers vote which dish they want Matt to cook for them.
How do you get the ideas for the dishes that are the Heaven and Hell?
So the guest has a research chat, and they will give a list of Heaven, list of Hells. They then go to Matt, and then Matt then writes.
But the core recipes come from Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. They're all Matt's dishes. I mean, I might suggest a little tweak here and there. Like today, for example, we plated up a dish and it needed a pop of colour. So I said, let's just put some really bright red chilies on top. So I'm always there to add, help. He'd probably say the opposite, annoy. I mean, we joke about it all the time, but when we're cooking a recipe, I'll be like, right, I don't think we should do that. I think we should do it like this. And he'll be like, no. And obviously I respect him. It's his dish and he has an opinion. We'll get to the end of the dish and he'll go, I think I should have done it your way. And I'll go, no, really? Okay. But yeah, we have the relationship where we can do that.
And for our listeners, how many versions of a particular recipe are you doing at once? Because you have so many. Yeah. Oh, I made this earlier.
Yeah, so how you got to think about it is you rehearse on a Friday, then we do that again on a Saturday morning for rehearsal, and then again live. So there's 6 recipes generally. So you times that 6, it's by 6 probably. So everything's been done 36 times maybe. It's a lot, yeah.
And what happens to the lovely plates of food?
So there is absolutely no waste in this building. Everything gets kept or eaten or put away or frozen, or we're really conscious about carbon footprint. We don't use certain things like cling film. And if we do, for example, if we use like a piping bag, which is plastic, we'll make sure we tell the viewers you can wash it and reuse it. But obviously the plates that come off set, and there's bits of it, we've got Lofty on camera 1 who has a spoon in his back pocket. He's the local Hoover. He'll have a bit of that. But production have to taste it. We have to know what it tastes like, what it looks like. But yeah, absolutely no waste.
So no one's leaving here with an empty stomach?
I always say, if you leave side of the kitchen, not full and not drunk, I was going to use another word, we have not done our job properly. You need to roll out of here.
Michaela, thank you so much for showing us your prep kitchen and how the magic really happens.
You're welcome.
Matt, what happens when the cameras turn off on Saturday Kitchen? Do you just carry on? Do people keep eating, drinking?
Yeah, pretty much. We do the show and then there's a green room upstairs, so very often we'll go up there. And then very often we'll go to the pub with some of the team, some of the camera boys. Once you come off live TV, your adrenaline's sort of through the roof. If you have a drink, it just comes down nice and gentle. We go there and we'll kind of discuss the show. Sometimes we go with a guest. I mean, Tom O'Dell has been down the pub with us. That was cool. We have the camaraderie of the crew. And I couldn't do my job if the crew hated me.
Watching Matt work, it's clear he sees Saturday Kitchen as a team effort, getting on air live each weekend. Which raises the question, in a broadcasting world, moving away from live viewing, why does Matt think live telly still matters?
I think it needs to be live because you get such different energy. You know, everyone's up on guard, I suppose. And it's just the energy levels are just very, very different. And I think that's what keeps it fun. And when things go wrong, they're out there for the nation to see. You know, wherever we sort of do pre-records or if I've done other TV shows and things go wrong, they're always edited out. And so everything looks a bit too kind of squeaky clean and manicured. And, you know, life's not like that. So I think the appetite for live is still there. And I think and long may it continue, because I think it adds so much to a show.
There is a magic to live TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the adrenaline, you know. And it wasn't until lockdown or after lockdown when I started sort of, you know, you get back out there and people would come up to you. And then they would say, you know, thank you for keeping the show going. I mean, it wasn't me, it was the BBC wanted to keep it going. Because it was a lifeline. You know, if you're on your own, you've been on your own all week, and suddenly you got, you know, some people messing around on the TV on a Saturday morning, it really sort of matters to people. I met this lady, came up to me at a food festival. She was well into her 70s, and she said, I've just got a divorce, and if I can get through the day to Pointless, I know I'll be okay for the day, and if I can get to Saturday Kitchen, I'm being all right for the week. Yeah. And he was like, these things really matter to me. So although it feels like a bit of sort of throwaway nonsense sometimes, it's a good thing to be doing.
I'm Jaega Wise, and this is the food programme on BBC Radio 4. Today, we're with Matt Tebbutt, chef and presenter of Saturday Kitchen Live. One of the show's drinks experts is Ollie Smith, now a close friend. They first met on a TV pilot with Jimmy Doherty, a project that never aired but sparked a friendship.
We just, all three of us hit it off, but Matt and I particularly stayed in touch. And his sincerity about the kitchen always draws me to him. He really does love food. Like, whenever we get together, he just always wants to talk about flavour. We love going out to eat together. The only advice I would give to you, if you do go out to eat, he's a bit like Joey from Friends. He does not share. You know, his idea of heaven is having a big Chinese all to himself.
So there's bromance between the two of you. When things are going wrong, if they go wrong, obviously it's live telly, can you tell?
Definitely, I can tell when things have gone wrong. He has a little flick of his eyes that he'll sometimes do to me when he knows that I need to jump in. And it's like, oh my goodness, now I really do need to say something. And I love being able to do that, because my job in life is effectively the goose to his maverick. You know, he is the handsome one. He's the one we walk into a bar, everyone wants to talk to. I'm the guy, you know, I'm pretty good at my job, but, you know, I'm the one ordering the drinks, and that's my role. When it comes to helping him out of a hole, however, it appears I'm overqualified for this job and have done so many times. So if I see that look, I will jump in and throw a question always to the guest, and I would be always happy to help him out of a spot.
So Matt has been telling us all about his background, and he's worked in some serious kitchens. I'm not entirely sure the audience know that.
I've felt for years that I don't think people really appreciate what a terrifically talented, hard-working chef he is. And the heritage of his training. You know, he was trained under Marco Pierre White. He does have the respect of his peers. You know, I think of Bryn Williams and all these other wonderful chefs that have come up through the ranks with him. His recipes, the ones I actually always cook at home, are the ones in the middle of the show when he's interviewing the celeb, and it takes about 6 minutes in real time. They are so delicious, and his mind is like, to me, it's like wizardry. He just thinks, what's the most flavoursome, colourful, fun dish that I can create at any one time?
But what is it about Matt do you think audiences connect with?
The comment I'm most often given on the street is, he just seems like a really good bloke. And is he like that in real life? And the answer is he's exactly like that. And what you see is what you get with Matt. That's why people love him. There's no side to him. He's not trying to get ahead. He doesn't want a particular massive career spike. All he wants is in the moment to have the best possible time and bring in as many people with him. And I think that's the secret of his success. I think the time he realises how good, how funny he is, that's when the sun goes down on this. So, Matt, you should not be listening to this show. Get out of the bath, put your clothes on, and stop listening.
Ollie, thank you very much.
Anytime.
Ollie Smith. Ask Matt who his favourite chef is, and he insists he doesn't have one. What he does have, though, is a line. He says he won't eat in a restaurant if he doesn't respect the chef running it.
If I don't like the chef, I won't eat their food. That comes from years ago when I was working at Marco's. 6 of us would go out and eat. And I remember sitting in this restaurant and this guy was shouting and screaming and berating his staff, and they were in tears. And then the food came out. We looked at it and was like, I don't want to eat that. So from that point on, I thought, no, if I don't like the chef, I ain't going to eat your food.
There is a lot less tolerance for that kind of
Yeah.
machismo, shouting in the kitchen behaviour now than when you were coming up in the ranks. I suppose it would be accepted now, that kind of behaviour.
No, and so it shouldn't. A lot of it came about from chefs who were bullied themselves and then they just pass it on. Fortunately, I think that is dying out because you're not going to nurture the next generation that way.
What is it about the kitchen environment that kind of breeds that mentality?
I think traditionally it was probably long hours, hot, sweaty kitchens. Traditionally, kitchens were where you know people who left school and didn't know what to do would end up. I think now that shift has come around because people are leaving schools and universities and coming out with qualifications, and they go into food because they really love cooking. So rather than just being sort of forced into it, I think they're there and they want to be there.
It's not completely gone though, has it? We heard about Noma, widely seen as one of the best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
Rene Redzepi recently had to step down as being in charge.
Yeah.
Is it still going on out there, do you think?
I think obviously in some places, yes, it is. And I think, when you're looking at perfection and stars and 3 stars and places like that, yes, of course, you have to strive for perfection. But you're not going to get the best out of somebody if you shout at them once and then you go back and do it again and then you go back and again. I think it's that relentless nature that has to go. But yeah, I'm sure there are places that still work like that.
And you've just come off the latest season of MasterChef. What was that like?
That was a lot. It was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a tough gig, I think, walking into such an established show. Whatever had happened before, you don't want to be that guy who turns up and sort of steamrollers everything. So to then go in and learn the personalities with Monica and Marcus, get to know the crew, and then still kind of do your job and deliver. I mean, it was a lot, but I really, really enjoyed it. I got really invested in the chefs. You see how hard these chefs work, and then they have families, and then they go home and they have their proper jobs, and then they have to practice, and then they come back, and they got a lot resting on this.
Of course, Matt's role also came with a lot of attention following the departure of Greg Wallace. And it's since been announced that Matt won't be returning to present the next series of MasterChef For the Professionals.
And you were given quite a tough time in the press about that recently.
Yeah, got a lot of press. It was, yes, of course it is. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say I wasn't upset. I was really upset. And it could have been handled a lot better. But it is what it is. There's worse things going on. You got to be pretty resilient. It's part of the game, really. I guess it's like, if you're a politician, you're going to get knocks. So it's part of the course, I think.
And you've got a podcast now.
I have got a podcast.
I hear about your podcast.
Yeah. Check out Confessions. I mean, who hasn't got a podcast? So I've kind of enraged people because I say I really like fish sticks, crab sticks. And people can't get their head around this.
No, I can't get my head around that.
Right? So this came about because I thought, well, other people have got weird things, So we invite people on and they bring like 6 or 8 items. And then we just kind of discuss, like, what is this all about? And then you get chefs coming on. They just want to show off.
What's your go-to meal? You're cooking at home? For the family?
Salty, sweet, hot, spicy. I mean, I love Asian food. I love, sticky sauces and stuff like that. I've always got jars of crispy chili oil in the fridge, which goes on everything. Just delicious. I'm going to do like sweet and sour pork tonight. I like to spend about sort of 3 hours cooking.
So you spend a lot of time in the kitchen at home?
Yeah, really enjoy it. Just pottering, put some music on. Sunday's longer, bit of kind of jazz.
How do you
going
keep
on.
the love for cooking alive when you've had to do it so long professionally, as well as doing it every Saturday in front of the nation?
Well, it's very different cooking because you've got everything at your disposal. Whereas at home, we'll open the bottom drawer and it's like, oh, scratch your head, what have I got tonight? But I kind of love that way of cooking. I still love going to the shops, getting the food, thinking about, what should I do with this? What should I do with that? And it doesn't matter what state I'm in or what I've done the night before, I still love cooking.
Now you're no longer daily working in hospitality.
Yeah.
There's been a huge amount of change in the industry generally. A lot of businesses across the country are struggling. I mean, would you ever open another restaurant?
I never say never. I mean, at the moment, no, because it's brutal. I mean, we get the top 0.5% of chefs in the country on Saturday Kitchen, and none of them are making any money. They're all ticking over. I think if they're staying alive, that's as good as you can get at the moment. And they're busy 7 days a week. So at the moment, no, it's absolutely brutal. I think, what the government are doing, kind of ignoring hospitality, is astounding, given the amount of money it raises for the economy. I mean, it's just shocking. So at the moment, no, but I'll often go somewhere and I'll look at a restaurant or I see a really cool cafe, and then I go, oh my God, I'd love to do something like this, and you get really excited about it. I mean, I was in a restaurant the other night in Farringdon, Bruto, and I walked in and I'd forgotten how brilliant it was. Great food. It looks like a really cool kind of New York trattoria. And that got me really excited. And I thought, yeah, I could do something like this. And then you'll go abroad. I was in Australia recently, and you go to a fantastic cafe and the sun's flooding in and you see what they do and you go, this is really cool. So certain places, high-end restaurants never really excite me to the point where I want to go back in those. But, where you go and you find these little kind of cool places. I think, yeah, that's great. I could do one of those.
So how does he view the future for up-and-coming chefs right now, including some of those he sees on Saturday Kitchen?
I mean, food is so exciting in this country. I mean, it's so much more exciting than it was back in the day. There was Italian, there was French. But now you've got these chefs and they're grabbing from here, they're grabbing from there, they're putting combinations together that are kind of, sometimes are crazy, sometimes are amazing, but they don't care. They're not stuck in a channel. They are kind of magpies, and I love that. So the next generation, they're just fine. Yes, there are social media chefs, and some are very good, some are not so good. And sometimes it's very evident they've never spent any time in the kitchen. If you're a chef in a professional kitchen, you're naturally fast. You can do things without thinking, you can react, you can talk, and you can move. A lot of people now who are kind of self-editing on social media are very good, and they can make a dish look beautiful, but they can't actually cook it in real time.
I suppose that works really well when you're trying to produce content for yourself. But if you want to transition into telly, that is a whole different
it's very
type of skill required to cook and talk at the same time.
Totally. And not everyone can do it.
You've got such a generous spirit. I mean, you're so giving with your time. Do you spend time thinking about the next generation and how your kind of legacy would potentially help to shape the next up-and-coming chef?
No, I absolutely don't. No, in all honesty, no. I'm not being nice because I think I have to nurture the next generation. I'm just nice, I think. People come in the studio and they're nervous. I mean, I remember being really nervous. So why wouldn't you make them feel at ease? You're not going to get the best out of somebody if they're nervous. I mean, I remember from kitchen days, you were the new boy and nobody would talk to you. It was horrible. So I think it comes from that, really. I mean, I think I've changed a lot since the restaurant days. I used to be super shy. I used to just hide away. And now I don't. And now I'm getting so much more out of life by engaging and chatting to people and just being open, I think. You know when you go to Ireland and you can go into a pub on your own and you can sit at the bar and within a couple of minutes somebody will be talking to you. I love that. Whereas before I used to kind of shy away and I didn't really engage. I absolutely love that now. I'm curious about people.
You did anthropology at university.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you any of that about it now.
No, but it sounds like you are telling me about it now. I mean, this kind of interesting communication.
I mean, it's a stretch. I don't know, it's stories. I'm interested in people because I want to know their stories. Do you know one thing? I know it's a bit weird, but you know when you see a bench and you see that little plaque on it and you see the names of somebody who used to sit there and they love this view. I always want to know more about that person. I thought that'd be a really good TV show. There's a curiosity. So when I ask a question and somebody comes back with an answer, I want to know more. And then sometimes I'm getting shouted at in my ear because I have to, do something else or we're running out of time. But I'm genuinely interested in whoever we have on.
Food is such a wonderful vehicle, isn't it, to talk about so many different things.
Yeah, I think people are probably at their most relaxed when they've got food, company, bit of wine, and that's when you get the most out of people. And that's why the show works. It's because, people get into it, they relax, and then they open up. So yeah, I mean, it's like all the best conversations happen over a dinner table.
Yours just happens to be in front of the nation. Matt Tebbutt, thank you very much.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Thank you to Matt Tebbutt and the whole team behind Saturday Kitchen Live for letting us into your world. Saturday Kitchen is live on BBC One every Saturday at 10 a.m. And if you have a favourite cooking TV moment that you can't forget, do let us know on social media. We are at BBC Food Prague. And thank you for listening.
Hi there, I'm Izzy Judd, and I'm so pleased to be back with the Music and Meditation Podcast Series 6. We'll be talking about everything from reframing anxiety to getting a good night's sleep. So if you need to find some moments of calm in your day, subscribe to the Music and Meditation Podcast on BBC Sounds.